Добрий день всім.
Good afternoon, everyone. Olga Timanova is with you in Media Center Ukraine, Ukrinform. Right now, there will be presentation of resistance movement Ruch Oporu about resistance to occupants on the occupied territories. And the presentation will be done by our speakers, Valeria Podkich, the head of the project and director of the project, Volodymyr Zhemchuhov, hero of Ukraine, Luhansk Partisan, Andriy Yusov, representatives of the head intelligence of Ministry of Security. Good afternoon. We start opening the project. We would like to start with our promo. Military TV. With help of intelligence of Ministry of Defense. Soviet-Ukrainian War. Fight Ukrainian army against Soviet government. Dissident opposition movement. The refusal of Ukraine from Russian course. Tuzla conflict. Orange Revolution. Idea of giving Ukraine membership to NATO. Revolution of dignity. Crime annexation by Russian Federation, start of anti-terrorist operation, full-scale invasion of Russian Federation, Zmini resistance movement, Ruch Oporu. In our promo, you saw the date starting from 2017 and until today, and that's the main message of this intro is that Ukrainian nation for centuries resists Russian expansion, starting with revolutions and famine, expression of people, and the war as there's now. And when Russian Federation invaded our land again, the resistance movement started all over Ukraine and resisted. They all resisted and caused losses in Russian Federation. We can see that. That's why we created a project that when we fought back then and we fight now, we would win and achieve victory. And this was created with help of Division of Intelligence of Ministry of Defense and Military TV and Hero, thanks to whom this project has life. Feeling how it is to be a partisan. It's Volodymyr Zhemchuhov, and we'd like to give him the floor to open this project, how this started. Please. Good afternoon. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes. This project is a series of informational movies, not about me. That's ability of civilians to defend their lives, their families, their motherland. I'm only just a living example that in 2014, a civil person could resist against Russian Federal Army and organized partisan resistance in Lugansk region. In these small video lessons, I just give the information as a speaker, and I share my experience and I comment activities, emotions, reactions, and adrenaline for people to be prepared to know how to cope that state. Just short lessons. About initial military studies, how to cope with our with emotions and adrenaline during the start of the first actions of the partisan movement and partisan operations and saboteur operations. The full-scale invasion of Russian Federation to Ukraine in 2022 will not pass the civilians. Just to stay put and to sit in the occupation at home, it won't happen like it used to be in 2014-15. starting that Russia destroys. In 2022, the full-scale invasion of Russia destroys not only people, but it destroys big cities. And to survive, each person has to make decisions where the person wants to stay in occupation and become a Russian slave, or starts resistance, joins resistance. Over the last 8 years, many people were active pro-Ukraine, who demonstrate active pro-Ukraine position, and were posted on social networks, or in media. And as it turned out, Russia and FSB uses those databases and social networks and media as assistance to detect patriots of Ukraine, create database, and to destroy Ukraine patriots. What options do patriots have that right now are in the occupied territories of Ukraine? Only to flee, but not all can move out. Some have relatives there, some have no financial opportunities to leave, and they have to do something. The risk groups are veterans of anti-terrorist operation, political activists, state servicemen and servicewomen. What advice could be given to them? In the villages, just go to the villages and become go to the woods and become partisans. In the cities, just don't live where you're registered, and create some partisan resistance networks to help free the cities, their homes, and protect families, and help Ukraine armed forces to free Ukraine. With thanks of the decisions that was passed this year before the war, in addition to old laws, like usage of weapons by civilians, a basis of national resistance, spreading the authority on the law of martial law. The civilians on occupied territories have the legal basis to participate, to take weapons and to defend Ukraine. They have legal grounds for that. We have to tell that to people. And comparing that, what we used to do in 2015 and 14, it makes a huge legal difference. Now it has a big legal basis. Now people are aware that those who take weapons, they have to be legally and socially protected. If they contact military, Ukrainian military, and do that in coordination with the armed forces of Ukraine. I want to thank the military TV for elaborating this project, for developer of the project, the head administration of intelligence for supporting my idea, and I'm convinced that we did not prepare that well to this active stage of 2022, this war, but we will make it timely now, and we will help patriots on occupied territories to make those partisan detachments and jointly with armed forces of Ukraine to free our country. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes. Thank you. Andriy Yusov, please. Good afternoon. Head Division of Intelligence of Ministry of Defense. We're happy to help with this series of movies, but thanks to hero of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zhemchuhov, and military TV, Ukraine has the history of resistance to Russian occupation. Not only about contemporary war, but we know a lot from the history of our country, and we have the opportunity in our newest history, not only to know, but to use that experience, the experience of Volodymyr Zhemchuhov, Luhansk Partisan, his brothers in arms, and the experience is valuable for all those who would need it, for all those who in 2022 got in this situation that Lugansk Partisan faced 8 years ago. This series of movies would be very useful. It will be hands-on and also psychological help. That today Ukrainians that are in occupied territories, indubitably they are in a state of stress and shock, and there's experience how to get out of that stress and from that shock, how to work, how to not to get frustrated with occupants, even when you meet the occupants face to face. I'm convinced that this series of episodes of movies will be very useful and motivating from hands-on and from motivation standpoint. Thank you, and we will expect in the social networks first 3 episodes and also on the screens of free Ukrainian TV. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ukrainian Media Center, Ukrinform. Thank you for the presentation of this very important project. Actually, dear friends, dear colleagues, you can ask your questions to our speakers. Please. Microphone. Vitaly to confirm this experience of moving out of shock state in occupation. Maybe you can give some first advices right now, so we spread it on people. And secondly, could you tell in detail what kind of episode that will be, what it will look like, and where we could see them, where you could watch them? I will start from the detail of the episode. First episode that you will be able to see on the channel, YouTube channel of Military Військове Телебачення at 6:00 p.m. On Saturday. First is the diary of the underground. It's 20 minutes, and it's the longest. Usually it's 10 to 15 minutes per episode. Their training methods, materials, practical examples, how it was in 2014 and 15, and also the motivational moments. That's how it will be. Thank you. Mr. Volodymyr, maybe some advices that we could use. Regarding support, psychological support, motivation. We all remember what happened in Chernihiv and Kiev regions when Russians entered the regions and territorial defense started shooting them, ensured their armed vehicles. That was a correct decision from the military standpoint. That scared the Kadyrovtsi, really. They were capturing the cities, settlements, and found out who was the police officers who have weapons, and just destroyed those people, just physically destroyed. Even the hunters that didn't resist. They found anti-terrorist operation veterans and patriots, also captured them, tortured them. What is different between 2022 and 2014? Then back then, nobody knew what to do and how to do. Right now, knowing what Russians do, knowing what they do, the first motivation component for each patriot is saving their life. Unless you do something, unless you join the resistance, unless you change your place of residence, unless you start defending your family, they'll come for you and destroy you. This year, it's a simpler. If it's either you or them, it motivates you to full resistance. And in the year 22, the partisans, there will be more partisans than in 2014 and 15. And they will be the force that will destroy, also help destroy the enemy.
Italian National State Television. Sorry. Okay. Good afternoon again. My name is Andriy Yusov. I'm from RAI, which is the National State Public Television. I need a question, a technical question. Is it possible to have some clips of this video to do this evening, my evening report? 1 minute, not more. Technical, military point of view. Don't you think that this is sort of a tutorial to be a partisan? Don't you think that given the Russian the opportunity to know your technical procedure, the suggestion you are giving to your men on the ground could give them an advantage in fighting the partisans?
The situation is the partisan war, to a great extent, with regards of hiding and movement on the territory. It hasn't changed since the times of World War II. It's the same, the partisan movement tactics. And the instructions that we're giving, the Russians are, FSB, they are aware about them. They knew those tools before the war. But those instructions, they help civilians to protect themselves, to use those tools, to leverage those tools on the big territory, on the huge territory that is occupied. And this would allow civilians that join partisan movement to hide from FSB, to fully control the situation on the occupied territories. It has to be minimum 10 FSB, 1 FSB per 10 residents of Ukraine, to fully control the situation. From to implement what you were talking about. But right now we do have an advantage. It's impossible to organize that many occupants on our territories. That gives us the opportunity to, our patriots, to use those tools properly, to hide. Regarding the first question, could journalists use your teaser, your intro on their channels? No problem. It's freely available, of course.
Ще питання, друзі?
More questions, please. No more questions. I thank you all for this very important project, and I do hope that it will actually help those that need it while waiting for land to be freed from the occupants. Thank you very much, and I thank you, dear friends, and see you again.